sin. You're all sinners. You're all going to the painful, everlasting, fiery hell.
The ether does exist.
The ether. The ether has properties of elasticity, and it will only tolerate so much compression before it overwhelms the dam as it just did. So let us watch the accretion process again. The flow from the vessel goes back into the westerly flow, head on, dams it up. The atmosphere responds by concentrating, as you see here. The ether is elastic, and it will only tolerate so much compression before, like a block of rubber, it springs back. There it goes.
You can refute, and so can I, 100 different ether theories, and there are thousands of ether theories over the years, but the ether remains nonetheless. I mean, it's like a fish swimming in water trying to deny that there's water. Us stupid humans think that there's no such thing as the ether. Well, yeah, there is such a thing as the ether. I don't care what you call it. Technically, the ether is no different than inertia. That the ether does exist. And when you actually release that inertia and you cause pressure modalities to exist, you cause compressions and rarefaction. What exactly is the premise of the affirmation of the ether? Forgetting about all the thousands of different pontifications on the nature of the ether, it has to be said unequivocally that the ether does exist. And every proof around you is an example of the ether.
The ether.
And of course waves start to emanate. There are pressure waves in the ether. Now if I were able to be in the deepest, darkest pits of outer space and do this and have a cathode ray tube or some other device that could show influence, at even further distances, which is certainly far more sensitive to make than a cathode ray tube, I could put it at like 100 feet and I could bring up this magnet and start to turn it a little bit, and I'd create the pressure, rarefactions, and compressions and rarefactions in the ether. Wah, wah. And you would still see it. And people tell us that there's no ether. What do you think is reaching out there? Divergent convergence. Everything in the universe is centrifugal divergence or centripetal convergence. Force and motion and inertia and acceleration govern the entire universe.
My name is Trevor James Constable, and I am the engineer who designed and carried out all the weather engineering and control sequences that you are going to see on this tape. Time limitations automatically preclude my giving you any kind of comprehensive theory on how all this is done. Suffice it to say that it is achieved by manipulating the ether. The ether.
The ether does exist.
Controversies about the ether have been raging for thousands of years, and they're probably going to go right on. What's important to us is that what has been learned in the past 20 years by my group about technically accessing the ether should be put to work in the here now in conquering some of the Earth's intractable ecological problems. For 20 years in this work, my credo has been a simple one, and it has been followed inflexibly. Only results count. Only results count. That's what underlies what you're going to see now.
That the ether does exist.
The atmosphere itself. Step by step, with the aid of time-lapse, we see a sudden and increasingly massive blockage develop to the further westward progress of the primary force, the ether. The damming of this massive regional flow of primary force shows itself as a steadily densening dark line across the horizon. The atmosphere is now responding to the local damming of the etheric force. It is being backed up is something like an undertow at the beach. We are doing this with the Maui and her primary energy translator. Denser and denser it gets.
And when you actually release that inertia and you cause pressure modalities to exist, you cause compressions and rarefactions.
The ether has properties of elasticity, and it will only tolerate so much compression before it overwhelms
and
the
when
dam.
you actually release that inertia and you cause pressure modalities to exist, you cause compressions and rarefactions.
Now it's expanding past us. The very fact that with our speeding translator aboard the Maui, we were able to produce this temporary local damming has resulted in effects that have recoiled many miles back over the horizon. These will in due course result in rain. Already there, just to the left of the jackstaff, you can see some showers falling. But this is only the beginning of a profound regional change. Everything in primary energy weather engineering depends upon the normal concepts of potential being reversed. Etheric energy flows from low potential to high. Therefore, your entire thinking must be changed if you are to do this work or to understand it fully.
And I could bring up this magnet and start to turn it a little bit. And I'd create pressure, rarefactions, and compressions and rarefactions in the ether. Wah, wah. I mean, you would still see it. And people tell us that there's no ether. What do you think is reaching out there?
The ether has properties of elasticity, and it will only tolerate so much compression
sudan halaya ay napalaman Kahihon si minsan lenta hagi kau pamanin na sudan halaya ay napalaman Esa miras ketulien Esa elang tais toyen ay na sudan mesain on Neita po yalan
I have sailed all alone so many times the seven seas of tears I can still hear the waves cold frigid wind on my sails always takes me back to distant memories home the last farewell wasted time, candor and lies for what I left behind. I know the price was high, no tears to cry, no words to make it right, but now I know that home is where my heart desires. I was lost, no star, no shore to call my own, but I didn't know I had it all. On the fields of victories and defeats, a drifter's life is more longing and dreams than reality. Wasted time.
Everything in primary energy weather engineering depends upon the normal concepts of potential being reversed. Etheric energy flows from low potential to high. Therefore, your entire thinking must be changed if you are to do this work or to understand it fully.
Well, how stupid does that sound? How come humanity is so ignorant? Now, well, answering that, of course, would take 1,000 hours, if not more.
The ether has properties of elasticity, and it will only tolerate so much compression